everyone, and welcome to the Essentia Health podcast series. I'm your host, Yeji Lee. In this series, we share practical, real life ways to support your well being, especially as you navigate the everyday pressures of work and life. Today, we're talking about burnout, and not just what it is, but how to catch it early and prevent it, especially as a working professional. So, burnout doesn't usually show up all at once. It kind of builds slowly and oftentimes quietly. And the reality is, you're not alone in feeling this way. Research from Gallup shows that about 76% of employees experience burnout at least once, and many report feeling it quite frequently. So, if you've been feeling somewhat stretched thin, constantly tired, or just not like yourself lately, this can be a really relevant conversation. So, first, let's start with what burnout actually looks like. A lot of people expect burnout to feel somewhat extreme, like total exhaustion or hitting a breaking point of some sort. But more often than not, it shows up in very normal ways. And one thing that's important to understand is that burnout, it's not just a mental thing. It can be both physical and emotional. So physically, burnout can look like, feeling constantly tired, even after a good full night of sleep. You might notice getting yourself getting more headaches and feeling more tension in your body. Your sleep quality might feel off. Either you can't fall asleep or you wake up still feeling very exhausted. And even your immune system can take a hit. You might feel like you're getting sick more often. And mentally and emotionally, it can look somewhat like you're struggling to focus on pretty simple tasks that you're used to doing every day. Having to read the same email over and over just to understand what it's saying. Feeling more irritable, like your patience is just getting thinner and thinner. Or feeling disconnected, like you're going through the motions, but you're not really in it. Now, the World Health Organization actually defines burnout as a result of chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. And they highlight three main signs of burnout, which are exhaustion, mental distance from work, and reduced effectiveness. And I think that mental distance piece is something that a lot of people can relate to. So, there are stretches of time where balancing work and your personal life, it looks fine on the outside. You're getting things done, you're staying on top of all of your responsibilities, but on the inside, you just feel drained. You might notice feeling more impatient at home, um, having less focus at work, and just feeling tired even when you've had the time to rest. And it's not just about being busy, it's about depletion. So, a simple check in question can be: am I tired, or do I feel like I'm just not recovering fully anymore? So, why is this happening to so many people? Well, I think a big part of it is how work has changed. In this day and age, we are more connected than ever, which means it's harder to truly disconnect from everything. There's always just one more message, one more task, one more thing you could be doing. And for a lot of people, there's also that internal pressure of wanting to do well, you want to be reliable, and you just don't want to fall behind. So you keep pushing through, And then life outside of work doesn't stop either. You have family responsibilities, financial stress, relationships. You have to take care of your health. And all of that continues alongside your regular workload. So instead of having that time to recover, you're really just moving on from one responsibility to the next. And another big factor is boundaries. When work follows you into your evenings, or even just, in your thoughts, your brain never really has a chance to power down. You might be off the clock, but mentally you're still working. And over time, that constant on mode, it becomes exhausting. Um, and here's something else that's pretty important. It's that burnout is oftentimes normalized, especially in our society today. When every single person around you is busy, they're tired, and they're overwhelmed, it can really start to feel like, okay, well, maybe this is just how life is supposed to be. But I can tell you that it is not sustainable. And the impact that it has on your health is real, not just emotionally, but also behaviorally. Employees experiencing frequent burnout are about 63% more likely to take a sick day and significantly more likely to disengage or consider leaving their job. So this really just isn't about feeling tired. It affects your health, your work, and really your overall quality of life. So let's talk about what you can actually do to prevent burnout. And I know it's easier said than done, always, but I want to keep this realistic because when you're already feeling so overwhelmed, the last thing you need is a long list of to-dos. So burnout prevention is less about doing more and more about protecting your energy throughout the day. And one of the most impactful things you can do is to create a clear end to your workday. Even if everything isn't finished, it can be little things like closing your laptop, turning your computer off, turning off your notifications, and just helping to create a defined stopping point to your workday. Because if you don't do that, your workday really just keeps going, both in your brain and physically. And another small shift is just giving yourself a nice transition from work to home. Even something as small as 5 minutes between work and your next responsibility. It could just be sitting quietly in silence, taking that time to do a little bit of meditation, taking a short walk, stepping outside and really just getting that change of environment, or taking a shower to just kind of wash the day out. And all of that can help your nervous system reset. Also, try to pay attention to your level of rest. Doom scrolling on your phone, that doesn't always count as rest. Even though it feels like it should, real rest is anything that actually helps you feel a little bit more like yourself. So that could mean, talking through the stress, learning better coping strategies, reading a book, or getting support for things outside of work that are contributing to how you may feel. Because we all know that burnout it's not just caused by one singular thing. And sometimes just having a space to pause and talk can help you figure out what needs to shift. And as we wrap up today, I want to leave you with this. Burnout does not mean that you're not capable. Most of the time, it just means you've been carrying a little bit too much for too long without enough recovery. So if any part of this felt familiar to you, you might want to take a moment to check in with yourself. Not to fix everything all at once, but just to notice. And maybe ask, okay, what's one small way I can protect my energy this week? Because small shifts, they do matter. And so with that, I want to Thank you so much for joining me today. And on behalf of everyone here at Essentia Health, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time.